as grand and dandy as, I can make it. So before we start, I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to guide you from there on in. Yay, Abby, good morning. So gather round, and I will. Now, here's something I wanted to add. I want to add this from. I'm going to talk about prone a little bit before we start, because we're going to do a bit of prone. And Jean, you've not done prone before, so this is going to be fun for you.
Okay. I don't get easily off the floor, but
we're going to help you with that.
okay.
Yeah, I will help you with that for sure. And maybe also, yeah, okay, we'll come to that in a minute. When we do prone, it's uncomfortable, and because of the way that the head is used to being. So there's a couple of ways around that. Either you put a block under your sternum, or you can put a cushion or a folded up something or other under your sternum. So I'll show you that in prone, the head, if the head's this way, do you see how my neck is all crunched up? So if my head's like that, I'm crunching up the back of my head there. If my head's here, my chin is crunched up and it's squeezing on my neck. So I want to have my forehead and about 10% of the bridge of my nose on the floor. 10%, something like that. So if my head is down here and I'm happy like this is fine. I can sit like this quite happily. If that's uncomfortable, I can place a cushion under my sternum, and you can see that my head then comes slightly further up, and I can position my head accordingly like that. You can also put a block underneath the towel here, or a book, and the towel that you're on can be a little bit cushioned so that it's not quite so uncomfortable when you're in this position. So that's one aspect of prone. The other aspect of prone is the knees on the floor. So we're going to be playing a little bit with the knees on the floor today and flapping the legs. And if you're in prone and it's getting uncomfortable, then just turn your head to one side and just let your head be like that, either side. Just let it be. It's quite. It's not a giant demand that your head is going to be in this position. Anyway, if you like, you can get a towel, and you can put that underneath where your shins are, and that actually helps. Yeah. Depending on the length of your body. Yeah. And you put it. Wow, I didn't know my torso was that long. Yeah. So just about there, and then that can be a little, have a little less pressure on your knees.
When I was a baby, I must have been put on my stomach.
Is this?
By my mother.
It was a. Babies love it, and adults. There's a lot of adults who say they sleep in that position.
Well, I try to. It relaxes me, but I can't stay.
Well, there's a great aspect about prone, which is that you can get a release and a lengthening out of the front strap, which then also releases the back strap, which is one of the great things about prone. It's also a great way of I'll say resetting your head neck relationship. And resetting your head neck relationship can allow everything else to align underneath it. So I'm a big fan of prone. When I started doing prone, it was really uncomfortable. I have to tell you, it was uncomfortable. But after a while of working on it, well, how? What do you think? It's uncomfortable to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Still not really.
One other thing about turning the head, if you have a look, I'll redirect my body. You see how this is kind of in alignment with my spine? If I turn my head like that, see what happens with my, this is crooked, it's gone off center. So what I want to imagine is that this point is my guide. We might do this while we're doing it. And then I'm going to turn my head along that center. And it gives me an idea of where my head is today. So I roll across my forehead here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Otherwise, if I just roll on my forehead, I come off center. So I want to keep this center as my guide to turn my head. We may do that, yes?
Just a suggestion.
Okay, we'll practice that for a bit. The other thing is, oh, this is going to be fun for you, Abby. Oh, so much fun. The other thing we're going to do is look at the relationship between the leg and the pelvis. So I'm going to talk you through this, but the foot will come to the center, and you'll see how the foot falls away to one way. The foot will come to the other side, and you'll see how the foot falls away the other way. And then we're going to move the foot and roll the pelvis over, and then extend this foot and roll the pelvis back. And you'll feel your tail wag in response to the foot.
The foot moves first.
Yes, this is the fun thing, is to feel how it's as if the fins of your lower flipper is swimming, doing the swim thing, and it's swimming, and as it swims, it affects the rest of the structure, which, if we're fish, is pretty good. That's a good thing, right?
And you find it.
Exactly.
Your rudder.
Your rudder. And so we're also reprogramming the body to listen to the release as a result of this. So as I extend that and I feel the release, I'm going to let everything let go as a result. I extend and release. And then I can feel how I habitually hold on to the muscles in my pelvis. So, yeah, so we'll just have fun with that. I mean, that's the aim of Dart anyway, is to say, okay, what's the habit? What's the habit, and can I change that habit? And it doesn't matter what state you're in, whether you've hurt your foot, or whether you're super athletic, or you're a certain age, you'll always have the possibility of choice to take you into release. And so it gives you agency. So when you're talking about coming up off the floor, we're going to find a way in which, because we're going to eventually come into crawling, crawl like a baba, like a tiny baby boy or a tiny baby girl or a tiny baby person. And you're going to crawl up a chair. Crawling up a chair and coming to standing like that. And I'll walk you through it. I'll talk you through it. Hello, welcome, willkommen, bienvenue. Grab a towel and a block, and we'll make a start. Yeah, and we're going to lie down on our backs first of all. So we're going to be in what we call constructive rest, which Hal is going to demonstrate here. Yeah. I'm also going to do hands-on. Yeah, Abby, that would be great if you could go there. Perfect. I'm also going to do hands-on. So if for any reason hands-on is not your preference today, just say sod off, James, or wave no, or I don't know. I can body read, okay? I can read the shake of a head.
We're gonna go on our backs.
Yeah, that's it. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Get on the floor too often. Let's see. Is that
Okay, that's for the back of your head.
okay? Good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just had a hysterectomy about a month ago.
Okay.
That constricts to some extent my
All right.
torso.
Thank you for letting me know.
They say 1 more month, and then I'll be able to exercise my abdomen.
Okay. So don't do anything at all that's going to interfere with that.
Okay.
So as I do this, just if I give an instruction at
Okay.
all, you just go.
All right.
Yeah. The DART procedures are really tiny movements anyway. So from that perspective, you can do movements that just inform the state of your body as to how it is and what it can do. So the idea is that you take a movement and then you clock what you can let go as a result of
Is
that
your top
movement.
of your head supposed to be on the blocks?
Yeah,
I mean, the back of my head is
yeah,
on the block.
I can just put that,
Okay, not the neck.
not the neck.
Okay. That's better. That works. Okay.
Okay. So to begin with, just going to see if you can clock the points of your body that are in contact with the ground. Ooh, Abby, I've got an idea. Is that good?
Yeah.
So with your knees up, if you turn your feet outwards you'll feel your legs want to go one way. And if you turn your feet inwards, you'll feel your legs want to go the other way. And that will, yes, that will work on top of the chair as well. So there are the rudders that are there that guide the way that your knees want to go. So if you find a place in between where your feet are turned out or feet are turned in, you can play with it until you go, my knees are happily sitting right in the middle and they're just floating up to the ceiling. Somewhere in the middle. Yes, exactly. And at that point, you'll be able to feel the contact of the foot on the floor supporting the knee. So, is that right if I use my hands? So you can feel the tibia and the fibula coming down into the foot. Yeah. And that helps the foot spread. Yeah? Okay. And when that happens, then the knee, your nervous system tells your knee it's all right. And at that point, there's a kind of release that goes up the system, all the way up to the back of the head. Oh, yeah. And you can feel the weight of the femur, the thigh bone, coming into the pelvis. See if you can use an image of spreading right across the system. So if you imagine a balloon full of water, maybe, and when you put a balloon full of water on an object, just spreads over that. So see if you can imagine that your back, your pelvis, the back of your head, the muscles, your guts, all is spreading over the floor. And bring your mind's eye to all the points that are in contact with the floor, all the bony points, because the bony points give information to the system that it's safe enough to be like a balloon full of water. So just going to let your eye or your ear or your nose on one side be interested in something, and you're going to let the head turn towards that side. see if you can maintain the length of the spine as you turn to that side. You don't need to turn very far. It's a tiny movement in response to your senses. Very nice. Yes. And even that movement, ask yourself, what can I let go of as a result of that movement? Very nice. And then you can look or hear or smell or even taste or sense something the other side. Let your head turn as a result of that. And you're not going to force anything there. You're just going to let the head turn. And then see if, as you turn the head from side to side, you can have a sense for how that translates all the way down through the spirals of the body. When you've done this a couple of times, just come to center and just track what's different from the beginning. What might have increased as far as tension is concerned, and what might have decreased. And then have your fingers just very gently, very lightly come to grow towards the ceiling. So you're just going to allow them to come away from the body, and you're just going to imagine them being magnetized to the ceiling. And when they get to some form of lengthening up towards the ceiling, let's see if you can balance your arms in the sockets. So the weight of the arms, use the weight of the arms to release into the shoulder. Yeah. See if you can find the width of that. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the arms are just waving very gently, like seagrass. Yeah. Yeah. And see if you can sense the very tips, as if the tips are extending. Yeah, beautiful. And when it gets to here, use the weight of the arm to extend them from there. Yes. And then when it goes to there, rather than stretching it into there, imagine this is lengthening, and you can feel the weight of the arm coming to there. Exactly. Oh, that's it. Then you're going to fold the elbow and let that just come across your neck, so that your hand is just going to come across your neck, and as if you're hugging yourself, except you're hugging around your neck. So, yes. Your fingers will come around the back of your neck. So if it comes across this way, like that. Yeah. It comes right across your neck like this. And the other way. So you're going to go across like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like Tutankhamun. Didn't he go like that? No, I don't think he did. Yeah. And from this position, just going to very gently let your elbows draw an arc across the ceiling, and let your head and neck come with it, a tiny arc. And as that arc goes across the ceiling, let your shoulder girdle widen as you tilt from one side to the other. Very gentle, very tiny movement. Very nice. So let your elbows be the guide. So, yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So you're unfurling your shoulder girdle using the floor as a means of unfurling. So as the elbows come across, the shoulders widen. And you can feel the shoulders sliding around across your rib cage. Yeah, great. Yes. Just going to adjust your block a little bit. Yeah. Exactly. You. And now here's a fun thing. Bring the elbows back to the center and your head back to the center. Just let your arms rest there. And let your knees follow one side, go to one side, and let your torso just slightly unfurl along there. And you're only going to do a little bit. It's really just to feel the spiral across. So you let your knees fall over to one side, both sides. Yes, exactly. And you'll feel your pelvic girdle is then going to slightly roll from one side to the other. Yeah. And you'll feel that come across and up. But see what it's like, Abby, if you have this, and you can do to increase this a little bit, is turn this one way and you turn the opposite direction with the top. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And you'll feel your, yes, real gentle. And you will feel your lumbar region just gradually unfurl across the floor. You might find you need to readjust your block because of this, because as your spine lengthens and unwinds, so you may need to readjust the block. Yep, great. Well, okay, that's great. And then just come back to the center and rest there for a second. Bring your hands down by your sides on your rib cage and let your elbows just rest on the floor. When you have your hands on your rib cage, just encourage your ribs to sink into the floor. Yeah. So this is a fun thing. You feel how this is off the floor? On the out breath, you're just going to lengthen. Yeah. So on the in breath, you're going to clock for tension. And then on the out breath, you're going to let that tension dissipate. And I'm just going to encourage a sigh as you lie here, so that the low ribs can melt. Yeah, exactly, Via. Beautiful. Yeah. And there again, you'll find, am I making it up, or is that different in the lumbar? It is different. Yeah. So I'm going to try and introduce this idea to our dark meetings, is that somewhere along the line in this, in the processes that you pick up on some option that you discover for yourself that you want to take away. So breathing out. Take a big sigh. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Great. Well, okay. So what we're going to do now yeah. Great. Lengthening all the way up, Abby. It's groovy. So now we're going to experiment a little bit in prone. And so you let your legs creepy crawly forwards. Just let them extend. Yes, great creepy crawling. I can see some awesome creepy crawly. And the idea of the creepy crawly legs is to really feel the nature of the flippers. That can't really emphasize this enough, that the very ends of the toes, very sensitive, very ancient explorers of space. The most obvious experience about toes being explorers of space is when you've stubbed them. It'll give you a very definite experience of how much they have a nervous system relationship with space. Okay, so bring one hand up over your head and grab the block if you can, and the other hand you're going to grab your head. Just raise that glorious crown and move that block out of the way. Yeah. So then roll onto your side, and if you can, let your arm sweep up and over your head, or you can just bring your the fleshy part of your arm under your head, and you're going to roll over and lie on that arm. Yeah, you can use your hand. Yes. Yep. Very nice. Yeah. You have a couple of blocks under there. That might be fun. A couple of 3 blocks even. And when you're lying on your side there, sorry, just going to lie on your side for a bit, just to have a sensation of the length of your side. Rock a little bit, tiny, just to remind your ribs what that side feels like. Yeah. So pop your hand down here, and you can just rock yourself backwards and forwards. There's a little balance point here. Yeah. That's it. Very nice. Wee. Yeah. And really, that whole thing about the rib cage, lengthening, see if you can have the same thing. Yes, exactly. Whoa. Have the same experience with the rib cage in contact with the floor here. Oh, yeah. And of course, the rib cage is very, I should say, flock of ribs. They have this connection with the spine. It is really visceral. Ooh. And of course, the flock of ribs is the supporter of the diaphragm, which of course is very viscerally connected to your legs. Okay, so I'm just going to look the other way and have a little roll over onto the other side. And then have a little roll around on that side. You can lie on that arm if you like. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Really, so Dart used the floor because he didn't have an Alexander technique teacher. So the idea is that you use the floor, as the teacher to your nervous system. And the practice then extends up into the vertical, that you let the floor teach you when you're vertical. Yeah, sure, there's a floppy. Well, no, that's the easy part. That's the fun part. Now we're going to scoot back onto the towel in whatever way you see fit. See if you can do it like in a jelly way, if possible. You're going to come into prone. So lying in prone is when you're directly lying face down with your arms by your sides. So you might need to scoot down a little bit. Yeah. The point of the towel is to come between you and whatever is in the carpet. You know, I'm not saying, but wherever you are, I've carried towels. I've taken towels to I've done this in an airport toilet. I have done prone with my towel protecting me from the floor life in an airport toilet. So it is, don't go anywhere without your towel. That's what I say. So try this under your sternum. Just pop that under your sternum. You're just gonna make sure it's not in your face. So the reason that you have your head on the floor like this, yeah, that's too much. The reason you want to have your forehead on the floor is because that's your trigeminal nerve. Wow, that's way too much. That's too much towel. You want to make sure your trigeminal nerve is I'll try this.
Yeah.
Is telling your brain, your cranial nerve is telling your brain that you're safe. This is as far as it goes. The existential crisis is over.
That's in your forehead, the trigeminal.
Yeah, the trigeminal nerve is the fifth cranial nerve. It's the one that dentists inject into to make your jaw numb. But it also has three parts to it, which is why it's the trigeminal nerve. It's actually the fifth cranial nerve, and it spreads across the front of your face, and so you're really telling your brain that everything's all right. Yeah. Yeah. So with your feet here, you just on one side, let one side, your favorite side, let the toes on your favorite side just go for a little exploration. And let them just have a little explore. And as they explore, you're then going to find where your knee and your thigh wants to sit. So as it explores outwards, yes, exactly. So if it goes really far out here, you'll feel that the knee, if you let the whole thing relax, it may want to go that way. Yes, exactly. And as it does that, just roll the foot and the knee. Yes. So you can find release all the way up into the socket. I'm going to come around and try and give you a sensation of this. So you'll feel that the position or the placing of the foot in relationship to the pelvis then creates the way that the whole structure wants to be. So as the toe is in the middle, yes, exactly, exactly, yeah. So as this explores, you'll feel it either wants to go this way or that way. Yeah, that's it. And when you find that rock, then see if you can feel the whole release all the way up. Yes. And if you feel the whole release all the way up, see if it translates down into the other leg. Great. Yep. And then the toe can maybe explore this way and see which way it wants to naturally fall. Yes, and it naturally wants to fall that way, right? So then if it comes further out, if the leg flapples further out, then you'll feel it naturally begins to want to fall that way. Yes. Do you sense that? So have fun experimenting with the way that the foot wants to fall in relationship to the torso. Yep, that's exactly it. Fire. Exactly. And the further out the foot goes, then eventually, you know, the knee wants to bend, and yeah. So if the knee wants to bend, then let the knee bend, and then extend the foot and see if you can roll the pelvis down the other leg. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And you'll find that the other leg does a little roll. So as that extends, yeah. And then if you extend the other leg, the other toe, you'll feel that extends back across there and down the other leg. So as this extends, that goes up the pelvis then rocks over to the other side. Yeah, keep rocking the pelvis and you'll feel it go down this leg. Yeah. And basically you're walking. When you're lying on your front here, this is kind of walking. You have an interesting challenge here, Abby. So then extend the other leg and experiment with the other leg in the same way. So you can bring the legs back together and then begin to experiment with the leg the other way. Now this is the beginning of flippering with the leg. Those who've done Dart before recognize that this is basically flippering. Yep. And if you like, it's uncomfortable in prone, you can turn your head towards the leg that you're moving. And when you've experimented with the other leg that you're playing with, this leg that you're playing with, begin to play with the extension and the rotation of the pelvis in response. Yep, that's it, exactly. Really clock as well the release along the length of the leg through the pelvis, and the release that goes down the extended leg. Yes. The information here is about pelvic release and its relationship to the movement of the flipper of the leg. Really great. Great explorations. You guys, fantastico. Bene, bene. Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun lying face down. We have to get up from this position. So how are we going to get up? Well, there's a number of ways, but in this situation, you're just going to bring your hands underneath your armpits. And then you're going to imagine that your back is magnetized to the ceiling. You're going to send your tail back towards your feet. You're going to bend your knees as you come back. And here, I'm going to just give you a hand here. Yep, that's great. Yes, exactly. Yep, that's really great. Yep. And yep, that's exactly it. Yes, yes. And you're going to pause there and let it, great. Just let this whole line that you've created where you're, yes, that's it, filling your back. Now, even in this crawling position, when you were lying on your front, on your back, and your shoulders came into, yes, brilliant. And now you're going to just do the same thing with your feet, where your foot is going to explore forward, and that will bring a knee forward. Yeah. And then your arm, the other arm will move accordingly. Yeah. Yep. And so you're crawling towards the chair. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. See if you can keep this length. Yeah, keep this length. I'm going to move these. And keep crawling. So you're going to crawl. Yes. Tiny, tiny. Yes, that's it. You can place one hand down. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And however you wish to get up. Yeah. Yeah. And keep this lengthened. Yeah. Keep lengthening. Keep lengthening.
Don't scrunch up your neck.
Yeah. Exactly. Just rest your hand. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Yes. And then take a walk. And the same thing applies for your feet in this situation. It's the same deal. Yes, exactly. The feet are searching. The feet are swimming. Yes, Yes, beautiful. And if you like, you can you can play with the way that the foot then translates up through the pelvis. So if the foot is, if you bring your foot out wide, feel how that translates all the way up through the pelvis for each step. Yeah. And if that creates a wag in the tail, can that translate up into the wag in the back of the head? Yeah. Can I use my hands just for a second?
Yeah.
So here, this is going to be related to the tail. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, great. Okay, all right. Wunderbar, schön. Thank you for exploring. Thank you for joining. Wow.